who shines on the field and learns every day.
Goal of grace.
Whose love shows us love in every play.
Goal of grace.
If grace is the key and Jesus our guide,
Goal of grace.
we win in this love with hearts open wide.
Goal of grace. Kick, pass, pray. God leads the way. Goal of grace. Goal of grace.
Hey kids, I know, right? It's like I'm looking worried. Looks like my soccer boots melted in the sun. That's my face, right? But it's even worse. I felt like I ruined Mother's Day. I forgot to get flowers or gifts for my mom. And then the card I made looks like it went through the washing machine twice. But then I had a realization. It's not just about the gifts and the flowers. It's about honoring someone. There's a Bible story I want to tell you about. And I know, right? If you guys are thinking if it involves a superhero cape, you're probably listening. But it's something sort of. This story is about Ruth. And her love was super strong. Her love honored someone in a much deeper way. Let's open the Bible. I'm going to read the story about Ruth. Ruth was a young woman whose husband had died. Her mother-in-law, Naomi, told her to go home and find a new life. But Ruth said, "Where you go, I will go. Where your God will be is my God." She chose to stay and care for Naomi, not because she had to, but because she loved her. So she didn't decide to buy Naomi flowers or gifts. No, she gave loyalty. She gave her time, she gave her heart. She helped Naomi survive. Ruth became a great-grandmother of King David. She got blessed through her faithfulness, giving her time, her heart, and God blessed her. So kids, remember this. It's not about gifts or flowers. It's about your heart, your time, honoring someone. That love goes much deeper.
God's story, Ruth. So part of God's story is about a woman named Ruth, and it begins like this. Ruth lived in a place called Moab and was married to a guy who was part of God's special family, the Israelites. A few years later, though, Ruth's husband died. Instead of returning to her family, which would have been expected, she stayed with Naomi, her husband's mom. Naomi tried to get Ruth to go back to her family in Moab, but Ruth wouldn't leave Naomi, no matter what. In fact, she wanted to go back to Israel with her. Ruth said, "Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." So they both returned to Naomi's home in Bethlehem. Back then, though, it was hard for women to find work. Usually, they had to be taken care of by their husband or a dad. It's really hard to imagine that now, but Naomi and Ruth might not have even known how they'd survive. At first, to get food, Ruth went to the fields of a man named Boaz and followed his harvesters around. If they dropped anything, even just a piece of grain, she picked it up. This was called gleaning. Ruth worked from morning to night and barely even took a break. Boaz noticed. He told his workers to leave behind some extra grain for her to gather. When Naomi heard about this, she was overjoyed because Boaz was Naomi's relative and what's called a family redeemer. That meant that it was his responsibility to take care of his family. If anybody was going to rescue Ruth and Naomi, it was Boaz. Kids, we have a redeemer too. It's Jesus. He's the one who saves us. Anyway, this gave Naomi an idea. She told Ruth to put on her best clothes and perfume and then go to the place where Boaz was sleeping. Naomi said that once Boaz had gone to sleep, Ruth should lay down by his feet. Now, this may sound like a weird plan, but it was actually really brave. Ruth trusted Naomi and obeyed. When Boaz woke up, he was surprised. After all, someone was lying at his feet. That's not exactly a normal night. When Boaz asked who Ruth was, she said, I am your servant. You are my family redeemer. Now Boaz understood. Ruth wanted Boaz to marry her so that she and Naomi would both be taken care of. Boaz agreed. This was a huge deal. Ruth wasn't an Israelite, but she wanted to follow God anyway. By marrying Boaz, she got to officially be part of God's family. In fact, Ruth's great-grandson was King David, and many, many years later, Jesus, the rescuer, was born into the same family line. Now, because of Jesus, we get to be a part of God's family too. So, in case you missed it, here's the quick version. Ruth was from Moab. Her husband died. Ruth was left with his mom, Naomi. Naomi told her to go home. Ruth said no. She went to Israel with Naomi. They needed someone to take care of them. Ruth gleaned in a field. Boaz noticed. He left extra grain for Ruth. Naomi made a plan. Ruth obeyed it. She wanted to marry Boaz. He agreed. Ruth became part of God's special family. And we can too. And that's a part of God's story.
So kids, this frayed string breaks easily when pulled apart. But this one, strong and braided, just like love and loyalty, holds together. It holds families together. Ruth stuck with Naomi, even when things didn't go as planned. Just like how we should stick with the people that God puts in our lives. And that means our moms, grannies, aunties, caregivers or caretakers. Even when they make those weird, healthy smoothies that we don't actually like, or hug us in public. Especially then. So remember, stick with those who love us every day. Happy Mother's Day to all. Moms, mom figures, whether it's aunties, grannies, or anyone in your life who's a caretaker or caregiver. Today's verse reminds us. We read out of Ruth 1, verse 16. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." So let's show our love, not just in gifts, but with our love, kindness, and time. So guys, well, this may not be perfect, but I'm going to give it to my mom anyways, because it's from the heart. And I think I'm gonna help her clean the garage. That counts for something, right? And just like Ruth, that's love in action. So from us at Goal of Grace, remember MVPs, to love your moms, your grands, your aunties, any mom figures, caregivers, or caretakers out there. And not just for today on Mother's Day, but every single day. See you next time.